Sam to be sat at the table, but are there any apologies for absence, Catherine?
No apologies, Chair.
Okay, no apologies. Okay, so the second item is declarations of interest. Are there any? No? Okay, so the first real item that we have to approve is the Town Council minutes of the 12th of August. So, first of all, the people that attended that meeting, are you happy with the accuracy? I certainly am. Ian?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Just two very small points. In 6024, there's a small typo in my name. Mrs. Letter. In 6824, standard practice when a member's motion is put into the text of the motion appears in the minutes. That could just be added somewhere at the end.
Okay.
Thank you. Otherwise, fine.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, if we're happy with those additions that Councillor Bond has made, can I have a proposer? Okay, that's Ian. And a seconder, please. That's Ian. And a show of hands, please. Thank you. Okay, so the rest of those items are for information only. So obviously you can see that the Policy and Resources Committee, the Buildings Maintenance Committee, the Business and Community Committee, the Environment and Transport Committee have all met on several occasions over this period of time. It's just for your information, unless there are any questions that you actually want to ask on those at all. If not, we'll proceed. No? Okay, so item number 4 for everyone who's attending here is for those that have been around Ventnor Town Council and around Ventnor for many, many years. We've always had a tradition of recognising people in our community that do outstanding pieces of work, people who are giving of their time freely, that are very flexible, that are dedicated, and they really do work for the community. We had a list of people, and councillors have all taken a vote on this, and the overwhelming winner for this, and I'm very, very proud to say that he works for Ventnor Town Council, is the man at the back of the room, Brian Roberts, and we'd very much like to thank you, Brian, for all the hard work and dedication, for the flexibility that you actually do for this community and for the council. It's really greatly appreciated, and I'd just like to say thank you for all that hard work. So if you'd like to come up here.
Thank you. Not necessary. Well,
My pleasure.
thank you very much.
Okay, on behalf of us. Thank you.
That's lovely. Only as good as my team. Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay. So the next item is the Town Clerk's report. Over to you, Catherine.
Just a few things to highlight really on the report. So just an overview of the summer events that we've had in 2024. Just noting Ventnor Day, which took place on Friday 16th of August in Ventnor Park, and thanking all those who took part and those who provided assistance on the day. We're looking at the arrangements already for 2025. Ventnor Carnival taking place during the second week of August. The inaugural Pirate Fest as well, and the Fell Running, which took place over the weekend of the 13th and 14th of September. Just a little bit about Really Useful Thursdays, which is taking place on the first Thursday of the month at St Catherine's Church, providing advice from various organisations and bodies. And of course the Public Spaces Protection Order, which was mentioned in the public forum. Ventnor Town Council did have a consultation on that, and we received email responses and some people in person as well, which can then be passed on to the main consultation, which is now open for the Isle of Wight Council.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions for Catherine at all? Okay, thanks very much. Well, it is for information, and obviously that's captured in that paper. Okay, so item number 6 is the finance report. Is there anything particularly that you wanted to highlight here, Catherine?
No, I think I've highlighted the variances in there, so I'm happy to take any questions on that.
Any questions, councillors?
I think the main observation, Chair, just looking at this, is that we clearly still have a problem with the staff costs and budget, despite our attempts earlier in the year to make sure we provided for all our staff costs. It looks like we're heading for a number of overspends, which is obviously concerning. Just underlines the comments I think members have made at the previous meeting. The only question I had on a different subject was just on, do we have a feel for Ventnor Day and whether that cost us anything?
Yes, this was reported at the Business and Community Committee, Councillor Bond, and it was a rough cost of about 638, I think, something like that. So we have looked at that cost at that committee and how we can reduce that in future years.
Because there isn't a budget for it, so that would be an overspend itself, I guess.
It comes out of, as I'm aware, comes out of the community development budget and has done in previous years. The loss is actually not as bad as it could have been because we didn't use things like the hire of the tables and chairs, which would have brought us to just under 1,000.
No, it was a very good day, but probably for next year we'll be trying to aim for break even at least.
We're looking at the arrangements in the committee.
Well, I before I bring, are you indicating, Dave?
No, just one friend.
Okay. I mean, I will comment on that. I mean, obviously I've scrutinised the finance report, and I would suggest that Councillor Bond's remarks are absolutely right and appropriate, but I'd like to go one step further. I'd like to see the event not just breaking even, but making a small profit. This council needs to draw back on our reserves. We need to build those reserves up and draw back on some of the items that we would like to do. And that is an imperative. It's not something that I want to shout about the rafters, because we're an enabling, community-focused council. But unfortunately, the budget situation and the finance situation absolutely leads us to believe that there are certain things that we have done previously in the past. There are things that we would like to do that we just simply cannot afford to do it. And we have to start focusing our minds on that. There will be a special bespoke meeting to discuss finances next month with councillors, but I can't stress it enough, and I think Councillor Bond is absolutely right and correct to flag the overspend or the underestimation of what our costs will actually be, our expenditure, and we need to do something about it as a responsible council and show proper probity to this topic area. Councillor Toogood.
Just to say, Chair, that we have actually identified that by making quite a few changes, which I think are all positive. We've discussed this at Business and Community, and I think you'll be surprised at some of the ideas we've got, and I think I can say to you that that's the way we intend to go.
Good. Okay. Any other comments to all on the finance report? Steve?
Just a comment on the salaries variance. I guess that's mainly because of cover arrangements for sickness and succession plan replacement of staff, but also the downside of it, presumably we've got to add in the actual pay awards when it comes through.
Yes, the pay awards, we still don't know the situation yet. Councillor Milford, I believe that it's still under discussion. We were given an indication it would be mid-October, but I suspect it may be even longer than that at this point.
I suspect that as well. Any other comments on the finance?
It's a very petty one, but I see you're still putting Zoom a monthly fee. Is anybody actually using Zoom?
We are looking at getting that. It's been cancelled. We did realise that, and we have cancelled it. No one is using it.
It's tiny, but this is...
No, it's important because it's not a forum it's not a platform we're using, and we have other platforms built into our IT that we don't need to rely on Zoom.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments on the finance report?
Yeah, just one other little small one. I like council premises licence, went the bandstand, £70.
That'd be to do with Ventnor Day.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, okay.
Any other comments at all? No? Well, if you're happy with that, obviously cautiously happy, because we have got a job of work to do, could I have a proposer? Councillor Milford and a seconder. Councillor Toogood. Show of hands, please. Thank you. The next item is the external audit report. Is there anything particularly you want to say here, Catherine?
No, nothing in particular to highlight. We've noted about minuting the consideration of the independent auditor, and just to mention to councillors that it was agreed at the June meeting that there would be an interim audit, and that has been arranged and will be taking place from next week with Maxine War as agreed at that meeting.
Maxine Wall is very, very experienced in these affairs. Any questions at all? Okay, if there's no questions, can I have a proposer? Steve?
So just to clarify, she's the internal auditor.
She is the internal auditor and she'll be doing the interim internal audit.
Yeah. Okay, can I have a proposer? Sam, and a seconder, please. Dave Logan. Okay. Show of hands, please. Thank you very much. Okay, the next item is a policy item. It's a complaints policy. It's self-explanatory, but obviously, if you've got any questions, please do ask. I don't think there's anything further you want to add to that, is there, Catherine?
No.
Okay.
Can I just ask a question, please? Was there any particular area that was updated? Because it is what it is.
It is. I don't have the track changes in the.
There were changes.
There were changes, yes,
quite a lot,
yeah.
and it was necessary.
It was, yes. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
But what I can say is it's modelled after other island town council complaints policies.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
So yeah, just there's one amendment we need to make, because in
Yep.
since between this being agreed and the commitment now, we've changed the committee structure.
Yes.
So it refers, for example, in section 8, chair of HR committee, which is a post we no longer have.
Correct. Yeah, well
So that
spotted.
needs to be replaced by chair of policy. And
Yeah, well spotted. Yeah.
Make that amendment.
I think that's the only one, isn't it?
That's bullet point 8. Yeah. Okay. Can I have a proposer? Linda. And a seconder, please. Councillor Jim Toogood. And a show of hands, please. Thank you. Let's pass on those. Okay. Budget process. Catherine.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So this is a suggested budget process for this year. It follows a similar pattern as has been in previous years, which is to suggest an informal meeting of the councillors in early November to consider the draft budget, and that budget then updated following that meeting to be brought to the Town Council meeting on the 10th of December. Any further amendments, proposals to be done so that we can then bring it to the 10th of February meeting in 2025.
So obviously at that meeting we would be considering what the potential preset percentage may be.
Yes.
Just to reiterate that. Ian.
No, I was just thinking back to last year when the initial proposal, which hadn't had any member discussion, attracted us a lot of negative comments, and we actually did some work to come up with a better proposal, and we just need to avoid falling into the same trap, I guess. Again, you'll remember it well, I'm sure.
I do remember it well, yeah. I still believe that we still have to have a council meeting though.
Oh no, we definitely have to have a council meeting, but when a proposal emerges now, we don't want to make the same mistake that was made last year.
Noted. I understand what you're saying, Ian. Yeah. Okay. Any other comments on the budget process? Steve?
If the individual committees have got their own views, how will they feed into it, or do they just do as individuals?
Catherine?
Well, I believe that some of the committees are already going to pop on their agendas what their own committees would need to be considering in terms of future budgets. So that would be feeding into how we do the draft budget, and I think they'll be having those discussions in their individual committees to feed that in.
Yeah. For my own committee, I've asked for a budget item on the next round of meetings, and it would be sensible, I think, for all committees to do the same, so that any issues about the budget can be flagged before we meet all together.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
I mean, the only other point, I think there is a job of work we need to do about the way the budget reports are presented, which I could, to be fair, have raised under finance report. But I think probably next year is the time to change it, not only to reflect the new committee structure, but also I think there's a need for a lot better clarity and things like an end of year forecast. Members would find very useful, because what we tend to have is we get figures that look peculiar, and then we get an explanation that is because of time, the calendar effect. Or
I've asked Catherine, our town clerk, to invite Morgan to attend a meeting where we collectively discuss what we want actually reporting so that we can see. So I do agree, we do need that extra clarity. We don't want any surprises coming out of them.
But also I just think that the information can be presented in a way that both us and any members of the public that come across it could get a better feel for where the council is.
Scrutinise it and clarity, yeah. Steve?
Yeah, we did discuss it briefly the last policy and resources meeting. We thought that would be an appropriate body to start looking at how it's formatted and presented.
Yeah. It's on the agenda. Any other comments? Okay, if you're happy with that, could I have a proposer, please? John Watkins, and a seconder, Ian Bond. Show of hands, please. Unanimous. And the next item is appointments to committees. So obviously we have the one vacancy, is that correct, Catherine, on planning?
That is correct, Chair.
Okay. Sam, would you be interested in serving on that committee?
I would.
Okay. So if we're all in agreement, can we have a show of hands?
It's tomorrow.
Oh.
It's tomorrow.
What time?
4:30.
No pressure. Should be fine.
4:30 tomorrow.
4:30.
Yeah.
So you send relevant papers to Sam, Catherine. Okay, congratulations, Sam. Okay, then the next item is just to note that our next formal town council meeting is on the 9th of December, and obviously that's for information only. And there's no other items